So what I'm saying is, belief. What you're saying earlier, you're right. I agree with the scholarship, but it's none of us were there thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
We're going by books and statements, right? We weren't there. We don't know how they come by that, but we believe. If you're a Christian or you believe in that Bible, you believe, but you ain't got evidence. It's just a belief. The only time we're going to know as human beings, right, is when we're gone, when we die, right? You got Hindus who believe in their religion, right? When they die, when that time comes, when we meet our Creator, that's the ultimate time we will know what we were believing.
Okay,
right?
Can a belief be true without evidence? Sorry?
Yeah, yes, a belief can be true without evidence, but you'd only find out when it's time for the results.
How would you verify whether some beliefs are better than other beliefs?
He's hijacking the conversation.
No, let me think.
Well, this guy's more intelligent than you, that's why I'm talking.
No, because you were going to dance with the
ask the question again. What do you say?
Can a belief be true with or without evidence?
Yes.
It can be, right?
Yes, but to know, you have to wait until that time.
Can a belief be established with evidence?
Define the belief first.
Of course it can.
Well, that's it then. That's fine. I agree with you.
But you see all that now.
I agree with you.
We have to wait for the result of things.
No.
When it comes for...
No. Evidence is not result.
No, I'm talking about the other aspect, right? Can something be true without evidence, right? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Give me an example.
But that
All right,
truth...
give me an
But that truth...
example
Hang
of
on.
that.
That's what I'm coming
Give me an
to.
example.
I'm coming to that, right? So, for instance, that truth will come. So like...
No, but I've moved the conversation on from that.
So like...
I said,
all right, 7 o'clock...
can you establish a belief with evidence?
If you got the evidence...
So that's it then. I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
But if you haven't got the evidence...
I agree with
it's
you.
not a belief.
I agree with you.
If you haven't got the evidence and you still believe in your faith, when you will genuinely know is when that time comes for everything to be displayed.
But that's not the point. My point.
But I understand you.
My point is, you can have a strong conviction about something being true on the basis that that you've seen the evidence.
Well, yes, if you've seen the evidence.
Right. So that's it. So I agree with you.
But some things,
So I agree with you.
some things we consider as evidence.
So I agree with you.
Yeah.
So for us Muslims, we don't believe in blind faith. We believe that you should have evidence to support your claims.
What Muslims believe in, right? Remember, none of us were there in the times of the prophets. None of us, right? And we are going by what people that we trust, what they've written was true based on many reasons. So let's say like all of us here was companion of, let's say, Prophet Jesus, right? And all of us decided, well, after Jesus is gone, this is what Jesus said. And we all came to an agreement. And that agreement, that statement, went around the world. Everybody will believe it because it says all these companions, this is the narration, right? This one, whatever your name is, that one, they all agreed, this is what Jesus said, right? So based on that, the masses will believe this statement. But that doesn't mean the statement is true. Right?
If you show it,
wait a minute. That doesn't mean the statement. See, if all of us agree, come to an agreement, right? When no one else is there, said this is what happened and this is what we're going by. This is the authentic thing, and that's what got published, right? And people believed it, and it passed on many years. That doesn't mean our statement is true. It doesn't mean that.
I agree.
It doesn't mean that,
no,
right?
I agree.
Right?
But you're assuming.
No,
but you're
and it also doesn't mean it's fake.
Right, but you're assuming that is the evidence.
No, I'm not. I don't assume anything.
It's an assumption, isn't it?
I'm just saying. No, I'm not making. I'm just saying.
No,
I'll give you an example.
Your assumption is that if it was just
as an example, I'll give
fable stories, people saying things, it doesn't make it true.
No, I'll just give you an example.
I accept that.
Right now, same with the resurrection.
No,
right?
but let's not.
None of us was there.
Let's not move on.
None of us was there, right? A lot of the stories. None of us was there when Jesus was apparently was crucified. We weren't there. We are going by what we've been told.
No,
he wasn't
the
there.
Faith. For them is the faith. For Christian is faith. For Muslim is submission.
Can I just
submission right? Is submitting
what is
to
your
God,
belief based in,
right?
please?
Well, I'm not going to answer a dozen questions. He made a statement. He made a statement. He let him talk because it's fine. Relax. Let him talk.
I'll get there.
Relax.
I want him to dance.
Okay.
Go on.
So if your assumption is that the evidence is just some people saying some things throughout history, therefore it doesn't necessitate that it is true, I accept that. But in Islam, we're not arguing that. We're not saying just because these
what do
people,
you say?
just because relax, dude.
Because I know.
Take a breath.
You already know what
Just
he's
take a
going to
breath.
No, but you still have to give him a chance.
Calm him down.
He's a man.
Calm him down. Calm him down.
We can't bully him. Bullying is not good, right?
So for us, there are two aspects. One is multiple attested, verifiable testimony.
Right.
I said it.
Okay. Do you believe Australia exists?
Oh, there you go. He's asking.
Do I believe? All right.
Yeah.
Before answering the question.
Relax.
You can't bully people.
Do you believe Australia exists?
It is a form of bullying when you force someone to do something, right? It is a form of bullying, right?
Do you believe Australia exists?
Yes, I do.
Have you been there?
No.
Why do you believe it exists?
I tell you why I believe it, right? Let me give you the reason why I believe it. I know someone personally, right?
Testimony,
Who lives there.
Testimony,
right?
yes.
And because I believe if I was to go to a travel agency and say I want to book a flight to Australia,
Yes.
right? I believe I could get there.
You believe
right?
you could, yeah.
And then also, and all what I'm saying, it doesn't mean Australia exists,
Right.
right?
But you do believe it does.
But based on these things, right? Based on these things, right, that I could book a flight, they will take my money.
Have you booked a
right?
flight?
Watch this. I'm just saying, they will take my money and they'll book me a flight there. Whether I haven't even reached there yet.
Have you
because
booked? Have you done that?
Let me land.
Have you
right?
done that?
Let me
yet?
land. Let me land.
Now
right?
you're becoming
Let me-
cheeky.
You haven't
no,
even-
I like it.
You haven't even taken off. You haven't even taken
I know,
off yet.
I know,
How are you going to land?
I'm giving you the reason.
You haven't even bought the ticket
Brother,
yet.
I'm giving you the reason
Go on.
why I still believe. I like the question, but I'm still giving you the reason why I believe, right? Because I don't think a travel agency would take my money, right, when there's no place that existed, right?
He's giving you
Right?
deductive
Can you-
reason. You understand?
That's not
Deductive,
wait,
yes.
That's not deductive.
Brother,
That is
don't
not a
get
deductive.
distracted. So,
That's not a deductive
and I still
premise.
like what you're saying,
Because
but
you
that
can
still,
put that in
brother,
practice.
That's not a deductive
but that
premise.
still doesn't prove.
You don't know what you're talking
Brother,
about.
that still doesn't prove. All what I'm saying, it still doesn't prove.
but no proof.
That's still not. No, it still doesn't prove Australia exists.
Right.
But I believe it because of many. I can go on many other things, right?
Evidences.
And if it came down to the crunch, where I have to book the flight to actually verify for myself, right? Based on the amount of information and people I know who've been there, come up with pictures and
Testimony.
and videos,
Valid,
and
multiple
then I can say
testimony.
yeah. But if, like they say, that place in America, it's Area 51, right? Aliens landed there was a spacecraft. No one's seen it. We heard all the stories. I believe there's an area that called that, but I won't believe there's any alien there because I haven't seen it.
But the point I'm trying to make to you,
And I have never seen something alive. I have not seen any logical. I've never seen an alien.
the point I'm trying to make to you is,
Yeah.
you believe in the notion that a place called Australia exists,
Based on,
despite never being there,
yeah,
never actually buying the ticket,
Right.
and never flying there.
yeah. But continue.
And ultimately, your belief is based upon what you see as verifiable, trustable testimony.
Vision. No, not just that. The videos. Right?
Videos could be
like
of-
my friend Nigel Ben. I know Nigel Ben
Okay.
personally.
I saw
he
him fight.
He lives there.
I saw him
right?
fight. He's a good
He lives
fighter.
over there.
Very good
I got
fighter.
family members who's gone there with a video, even on WhatsApp. You're talking live. You can see Australia. You can see the kangaroos. You can see it. You can actually see it.
It could have been New Zealand, right?
So because of that,
It could have been New
and you're
Zealand.
still right.
Yeah.
But because of that, that was physical. That was enough for me to believe
Right.
they were there. And guess
They
what?
could-
Hear the joke now.
Yeah.
They could not be somewhere else, like you said,
I
New Zealand.
understand.
It doesn't really mean
I
it was there,
understand.
but that was enough for
But
me.
you
to
have
believe.
my point.
Now,
You
if
see,
I really want
when
real
you-
evidence that Australia exists,
No, you should be-
what I have to do
Ask him,
is actually
what
book
is Australia?
proof and evidence. I have to really go there and touch ground myself.
My point to you is that
That's the ultimate-
Well,
He's
even
already-
then,
What?
you
Relax.
could say to some, maybe I'm
No,
having a
but
dream.
Relax.
No, but
Right.
What I'm asking
he's
you to
already
do,
assumed that Australia
what I'm
exists.
asking you to
That's
do
what
is
he's
be
putting to you
consistent.
now.
Right.
We hold many notions.
By the way, I was Muslim before.
Alhamdulillah, whatever.
And I came out.
Inshallah, one day again, Allah will guide you
That's
again.
good.
What worries me,
We
don't tell me
have-
Christian
And I still believe.
Alhamdulillah, one day you will accept
I
it,
still
inshallah.
believe in a good percentage of Islam, and all the parts of Islam I believe in. Funny enough, all of that is in the Bible.
Anyway, we don't chop and
Yeah.
we
What do
don't
you
chop
say
and
to that? What do you
Yeah,
say
and,
to
and,
that?
I, and I can quote, and I can quote
Relax.
all the
Confirm
verses.
that.
I can
Can
quote
you
all the
confirm
verses
it?
in the Quran, right, that I believe in. I can show you in the Bible where it's already there.
Before we get to that, before we get to that,
150
before
years
we,
after the Bible.
just,
It doesn't
guys,
matter, though. So,
guys,
I like the Bible.
Torah,
I like
Torah.
the
do you want to
Bible.
talk? You want to talk amongst yourselves?
brother,
I'll walk
you-
away.
Anyway,
With you.
Oh, no.
I like the Bible.
Either I'm going to have a
I like
conversation,
the Bible is
or I'm
fabricated.
going to walk away.
Go on, brother.
I ask people to have consistency. Just as you have strong convictions about maybe your father is your father, your mother is your mother, your grandfather is your grandfather.
Yeah.
Australia exists.
Yeah.
Okay.
DNA, father.
Whatever. Well, you haven't done the DNA test, have you? I
Gene
presume.
sequence.
You presumed.
I'm presuming.
You see,
Right?
what evidence do you have? I haven't done it.
No, I'm just saying. I said I'm presuming. I'm presuming that you didn't doubt your father or your mother, right?
Anyway,
Okay.
I'll let you.
So the reality is, those notions are held with all, I would say, with certainty. With certainty.
It's called gene
We don't have doubts about Australia,
Right.
but we rely upon valid, multiple, attestable testimony. So it is a valid way of attaining knowledge. Similarly, for example, science. Science builds upon the testimony and the work of other people. You don't repeat every experiment. You trust that the journals that publish those experiments or those theories are trustable, and you build upon them.
Well, not necessarily.
Now, similarly,
Not necessarily, 'cause I did a bit of science, not
now,
necessarily.
Similarly, the reason why we believe in Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, for example, is that we have valid, multiple testimonies ranging from different geographical locations, often separated by great distances and time, and yet the things that they're saying about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, are exactly the same.
Yeah,
So because of-
and you're right. You're right. But that does not mean it's authentic.
No, the point.
That's not what you use to confirm something
Well,
is authentic.
actually, it is.
No. What you do?
Actually, it is.
What that confirms. What that confirms. All right. If when you're having a conversation right now, right, and it's been recorded, right? Or let's say it wasn't recorded, but people were listening, right? And then they went to their homes and told their families about the conversation. He went to his home, right? Now, years later, all the different families, when they came together, who didn't know each other, says that's the exact same thing these guys were talking about. That doesn't. All that confirm is that we had the conversation, but it doesn't confirm what we were saying is facts.
No, what it does confirm is what it does confirm is that you have multiple witnesses
that heard what we said
at a particular time.
I heard what we said.
Who saw particular events and recorded them and transferred that information down the line to other people.
All right, now give me one.
No, hold on a second.
Hold
on a second.
There's a verse in, I think it's in the Hadith.
Before we get there,
it says Satan sleeps in your left nostril, right, at night. So when you wake up, blow your nose 3 times, right? How would you confirm that's true? You can't.
We're not saying that you can confirm all of
So
the
it's a faith, it's a belief.
Supernatural.
That's what I mean.
No, but hold on a second. You're mixing things up now.
But it's Islam.
No. But you're mixing things up now.
These came out of the teachings of the people who believe in Islam.
First of all, I don't think it's your nostril. I think it's your ear.
No, it's your nostril.
Yeah.
And it's one where Satan ties 3 knots to the back of your head, right, when you're sleeping.
My point
but
to
no
you,
one's seen that event.
Okay. But hold on a second.
Even with Jesus turning water into wine. I don't believe that.
Let me deal with that.
That's their faith.
Now, we believe in 2 aspects to attain truth.
Right.
Our aql, which is our intellect, and naql, which is simply to do as you're told or believe as you've been told to believe. We don't believe that everything can be ascertained through the aql, through the intellect.
That means wisdom.
Because
is that right?
Because
no, say it in English, please.
You're right.
What does it
No, but
mean?
he's right what he said.
relax. I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. Just relax.
What does it mean in English?
Can you give me a time? Can you give me a moment?
Say it.
I will in my own time.
Let the man finish.
I will in my own time. Groucho, please relax.
Okay, what is
I like that mask, by the way.
Yeah, well,
I have fear.
I find it a bit weird. But anyway,
Right.
don't go near any kids. So, there are 2 aspects. One is the aql, the intellect.
Intellect.
Right. The other is simply to do as you're told or believe as you've been told to believe.
Right.
We don't believe that everything can be established through the aql because angels exist. The angels are unseen. We haven't seen the angels. We believe the angels exist on the basis that we establish it through, for example, the Quran, for example.
It's a belief, though.
No, but hold on a second. But we established that the Quran could not have been any other way.
Yeah, but remember, mankind, on every aspect, is only using less than 3% of brain capacity.
There's a debate on that.
All right, even if it's 10% or 20%, the point I'm making, we are so limited in understanding and when it comes to intelligence. I'll give you an example. If you go back 500 years ago in Britain, right, let's say the Victoria times, right, and look at how they try to cure illnesses. They will cut you open thinking if you, by bleeding, whatever illness you're having, you will come out. There was another case where they'll put cow's urine on your head thinking that will cure your sickness. They had no knowledge, right? But look at within 500 years since then, the level we've gone to, right? Now, so my point I'm making, in the next 600 years, when we're all gone by then, mankind will look back on us and think, bloody hell, those people back in 2023,
right.
they believe they were drinking coffee thinking it's good for you. You understand? Their level would have come up.
People doing,
right?
So
what I'm saying is, what we're using to try and work out things. A lot of humans are ignorant. We think in our time we know it all, but we're ignorant, right? Human beings got a lot to learn, right? And as time goes on, it's proven that. Now remember what Muhammad said, back down to the third generation, there'll be no Muslim.
Before you get to that.
Like him, in that time there. They'll all be corrupt by then. There'll be seven different sects, right? There will be no Muslim in just 3 generations now.
You're moving
and we're in that category now.
You're moving to lots of different things.
Oh, it's true, go on.
People throughout history doing things that are superstitious, does that have any bearing on whether the Quran is true or not?
Yes. So,
all right, let me answer that question then. You cannot use
No, answer
anything.
my question.
No, you can't. It doesn't.
So it doesn't, right?
It doesn't, no.
So you're
only God can confirm anything, everything.
So
God is the only one.
So you're bringing up people putting cow urine
because you mentioned about we can't use, and I agree with you. You should talk like the word you use basically means you can't use your senses to understand and work out some of the.
First of all, let's just deal with your latter point.
So because you said that, I used mankind's the way they did things 500 years, which confirm what you said. You can't. We don't know. So if right now you think we can use our. Our mindset, our intelligence to work out something that complicated.
That's why I asked them,
but you can't.
how do they know Quran is the word of Allah?
It's a belief.
No,
you can't disprove it either.
You said correctly.
We can't disprove it either.
You have to connect to yourself to Allah.
Look, when we die,
in
we'll
order
know.
to ask
You
this
can't
question.
you can't disprove the Quran, religion.
I'm not making the claim.
Until you die, you know when you meet your creator. Because look how much different. Look at you got the Shia. They have their belief. Right, you got different ones.
You're basically shotgunning now. You're not dealing with what I asked you.
No, he dealt it very correctly. Actually,
what I said to you was, people doing things that are superstitious throughout history.
I answered that question already.
Hold on, has no bearing whatsoever on the provability or the disprovability of the Quran.
Though. I said no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Okay,
Yeah.
so
it's subjective.
So that's irrelevant then.
That's
fine.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant.
It's
okay.
justifiable to them.
So for Muslims,
That's what you need to say.
when we establish the validity of the Quran, we don't care what people did or didn't do in terms of their superstitions.
I know, because you believe in your.
We believe that we have objective reasons. Objective reasons to believe that this Quran could not have come from anyone other than Allah.
Have you noticed the words you're using?
Yes.
You're saying, we believe. So you got to be very careful when you speak, right? Because when you say, we believe, a person listening have to go by every definition of every word that you use, right? You can't use a word to suit your needs. So when you're saying, you believe, you know already that word means believing something without evidence. If you said, we have evidence,
no, but we've dealt with
but you're not saying that. You said we believe.
I did say that.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I did say
right?
that to you.
None of us.
You're having a different conversation.
Brother, not
he's correct.
Brother, you're having a different
one
conversation.
religious group on planet have evidence, right? They have statements and they go by belief. It's a statement.
Have you looked at the evidences of the Quran?
When you, it's a statement. Brother, it's a statement.
Have you looked at the evidences
Bro,
of the Quran?
it's a statement.
I'm asking you a question. Have you looked at the evidences? Have you at least looked at the claims that the Muslims are making?
I tell you some of the things I've seen in the Quran that I can say, all right, this is evidence of another statement, right? When I became Muslim, this is about 26 years ago, right? And what shocked me at the time, right, when I started reading up more into it, reading the Quran, I'm thinking, wow, and it was good what I'm reading. I was getting an inspiration. And at the time, I thought, this is coming directly from God. You know, he's just so overwhelmed. Until I realized, hang on there, because I knew everything already, and I thought it was coming from God, but I realized, I've read this in the Bible. Right? Yeah. I've read this in the Old Testament. I don't like to use that word Old Testament because this is what Christians try to use Old Testament like it's done away with, right? But I read that for you to know what I'm talking about, I read that in the Old Testament. Even the Quran talks about not overeating. That's in the Bible. It's wrong to overeat. Don't stuff it. All these things are there, right? And I was thinking, wow, right? But the other parts now, right? Like in the New Testament, you find stuff that, hang on, this is not right, and the Quran don't follow this type of thing, right? So all what I already read, and that's in the Bible, and it's in the Quran, those areas there, I stick with that. So there's a lot of Islam I still believe. There's a lot of Islamic stuff. Even the way you're supposed to dress. The Bible says do not shave. The Bible says do not shave your beard. Okay. Right? The Bible says do not shave the sides of your beard. It's teaches in the Quran as well.
Okay. So your argument is that you read the Quran and you realize that many things that are in the Quran are also in the Old Testament and the New Testament. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Now logically, if you find similarity, what are the two main reasons why similarity would occur?
I'll tell you why. That's a very easy question, right? Now, let me ask him. Let me ask him, right? You said what are the two main reasons? Now, there's no two main reasons. There's many reasons.
Okay,
right?
Please
right?
give me
now,
the reasons.
The only time we can say we can put a number on main reasons is if you belong to a specific group and they go by. No. So there's no two main reasons. Many reasons.
Okay, give me your many reasons.
I'll tell you some of the reasons.
What are your many reasons?
Some of the reasons. Now, I didn't say I have many reasons. I said they're out there.
But you can't argue.
Now, one of the reasons could be
you can't argue for something out there.
Because
you have to believe that, accept that, right?
One of the reasons.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why this knowledge in this book can end up in that book,
or be similar.
Let's say, right? I'm living amongst Hindus, right? And in the Hindu teachings, right? I'll give you a good example. The Rastas in the Caribbean, right? They smoke ganja when they to get an inspirational feeling, right? How did it came to smoke the ganja? Because when after slavery, the British brought Indians to the Caribbean because the hemp don't go in the Caribbean. So when the British brought Indians to the Caribbean, they brought a lot of Hindu priests, and they used to worship a goddess called Kali, right? So when the British bought the hemp for them, and they will smoke the ganja, they'll get an inspirational vibe when they're worshiping their Kali god. So the local Africans at the time, the blacks in the Caribbean, got intrigued and they're there. So the Hindus started telling them, well, we smoke the hemp so we can get an inspirational vibe, right? So we can worship our God. So the Rastas now, they actually weren't no Rastas at the time. So the Rastafari religion formed for Ethiopians coming to Jamaica, right? And they formed the Rasta religion and they adopted the Hindus. Hang on. I will, but I'm just saying it in a different way, right? So the Rastas now and marijuana, right? When they're worshiping God. So when you said how did that information get to one book to the other? When you mix with people and you listen and you learn from what they're doing, you adopt other cultures, other ways of doing things, right? So if you write in a book of how things is done, you will write what you've learned, and what you've learned come from other cultures, and that's how things get jumped from one place to another.
So basically, right? One reason.
So I gave you one of the reasons. There's another reason. Copying.
That is copying.
No.
That is copying.
No, if you say like you want to form. All right, like Apostle Paul.
That is copying.
No, Apostle Paul copied, but with intentions of making a false religion, right?
No, copying simply means that you borrow teachings from somebody else.
No, but you got to look at the reasons behind it, right?
No,
you must, because
I'm asking you for definitions.
You asked me what was one of the reasons why one thing can get to another.
The definition, not the entire entire story behind it.
Reason.
Yes.
So I'm giving you the reason.
Okay,
right?
let me help you on this.
No, you asked me a question.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to hear.
So you answered the question wrong.
I don't want.
And now you want to hear a different way. If you said to someone, "Give me the reason why you're in Hyde Park,"
I said, "Why?"
That person has to give you the reason.
I explained to you what are the two main reasons.
Brother, you're in Hyde Park right now.
What are
the reason why you're here? There can be many reasons why you're here. So if I ask you what's the reason why you're here, you'd have to give me your version, your reason.
No.
I can't say to you, no, don't tell me about this and that. Your reason could be here to listen, to wind people up. It can be many things. Right? So if you ask the person, what is the reason why you're here? Allow them to give you the reason. I gave you the reason how information
That's a false
can
argument.
jump from one book
That's a false
to another.
argument. You made a false argument.
And there's many reasons.
Look.
You could be living amongst people.
What's your name?
Right?
What's your name?
Call me Louis.
Louis, Abbas, yeah?
Brother, come on. It's not false.
Let's have a conversation.
But see, you don't like what you're hearing.
No.
So this is a form of you interject. It's not right.
I'm not. Listen. All I'm trying to. If you ask,
give me a reason, innit?
If you ask somebody,
what's the reason? Don't change it.
Hold on a second. If you ask someone, what is your reason for coming to Hyde Park?
Right.
they could give you a long story.
Exactly.
Hold on a second. But if I said to you, what's your reason for wearing that jacket?
They can do the same thing.
He'll say, because of the rain.
No, you just made the assumption. No.
Because it's cold.
Brother, no.
Done.
You-
Understand?
No.
Understand? Now,
Yeah.
now hold on a second. I said to you, what are the two main reasons why you might find similarity
Right.
between two texts?
And what did I say to you?
One logical
No,
possibility.
what did I say to you though?
One logical possibility is that they borrowed or copied the teachings from the other. That's one logical possibility. The other logical possibility is that they came from the same source.